Ooh, chat's going like crazy. Gregory, Mark, David, George, Infinity, Merle, Goose on the road. On the way down here to the VIP event. We're having a meetup tonight. And then actually 2 days, the next 2 days, I'm going to try to do this live stream with a live studio audience with the VIP group in the room. So we'll see how that works out. Never done that before. Never done this live stream. Never done a live stream at all in front of a live studio audience. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it'll be okay. I've been getting my technology in order so I can do that. This is a studio right here. It's got lights and cameras and monitors and all the things. I got buttons and keyboards and all sorts of things to make the show. But we're gonna try to do it on the road. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. If you want to chat with me, like all the fine folks saying good morning and hey and all the things, click the button right over here. Be a subscriber. Subscribe to the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat while I'm live. And good morning, everybody. Don't mean to skip anybody, but the chat is blowing up on me this morning. Nikki, JP, JB, excuse me, Jan, Mark, Nikki, PD, Randy, Laura, Anthony, Mary, Alan. Glad to see everybody. George, Jason. And, if I say anything that's helpful, beneficial, you appreciate, anything like that, interact with the video, give me a like, a thumbs up down there underneath the video. If you trust me and you want to go further, link is in the description. Click the more button under the video. Like $5, you can join and get in Market Roadmap. Get the roadmap line off the chart that I show every day. Now, the thing I brought today, check this out. 38% of companies anticipate they're going to conduct layoffs. And this isn't just, this is from, a scare piece, but this actually comes from right here, resumebuilder.com. It doesn't sound too good. 38% of companies say they are likely to have layoffs in 2024. 52% are implementing a hiring freeze. Half say they anticipate a recession as the reason for these potential layoffs. 4 in 10 say layoffs are due to replacing workers with artificial intelligence. 3 in 10 say companies were reducing or eliminating holiday bonuses this year. God, that's 30%. 30%. No holiday bonuses. It'll be on me, but there'll be live people out here. So, yeah. So, Rungover says Tesla's already on a hiring freeze. So, according to the survey, 65% of business leaders say they've had layoffs so far in 2023. 2024, 38% say they think layoffs are likely, and 52% they're going to implement that hiring freeze. Right there, this was. It's not looking good. Not looking good. Here's the businesses that may focus on layoffs: construction, software, information, retail, finance and insurance, education, health and social assistance. I guess what I'm doing is finance, so hopefully nobody lays me off, but guess that's where we are. Anyway, hey, Terry's here. Hola, Terry. It's my sister-in-law. And, I don't know. Doesn't sound too good. Doesn't sound too good. So this is a threat that's out there. Don't react now. Don't knee-jerk on me. This is one of those things that we need to wait. Well, manufacturing is already in the toilet. It was already going down. If we go back and look at manufacturing, whatever the manufacturing number was there a couple weeks ago, right around Christmas time, it was already in the toilet. Maybe they already laid off those people. I don't build resume builders surveys, so I don't know what, maybe they didn't even go after manufacturing jobs. I don't know. As a sector. So there you go. That's what we got. So anyway, don't look too good, but we'll see what happens as we go down the pipe. Like I said, don't react. I just want. I feel like it's my job to make you aware of these things that I find. I collect all this information. I put it together. This was one that I was like, I feel like we ought to talk about this. This was 906 businesses. I mean, you can say that's a bunch, or when you look at the big picture, there's like I think upwards of 60,000 businesses in the country, in the United States. So, I mean, maybe 1%ish, have applied here. There's organizations with over 10 employees. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. So this is just something sitting out there. Don't be surprised if we see some layoffs kick up. But that's one of those things too. Like, be aware. Like, if we start seeing layoffs kicking in the news, then we need to be aware what that might do to the market. Now, if you don't remember what it did to the market before, well, let's jump over an S&P, jump back in our time machine by putting in the monthly chart. Look back here. When we saw layoffs ramp up before, anybody remember that? All the layoffs that started kicking up, we went down. We haven't been back to the roadmap line on the monthly for quite a while. So, be careful. There's my big picture potential outlook. Doesn't look so rosy, does it? Yeah. Anyway, jumping on back to the daily. Let's talk about where we are. Now, coming up on the calendar. Let's do this. Get this out of the way. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one of these predictions right again. Let's be honest. This presentation, intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining, is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything at all. Don't buy stuff from me. Don't buy stuff from other gurus if you don't trust them. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy bonds. Don't buy cryptos. Don't short them. Don't long them. Don't buy them. Don't sell them. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. That's what that means. You can lose money doing all this stuff. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. That all out of the way. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Looks like a lot more people jumping on the stream here this morning. I love it. Love it. Thank you for tuning in. So, coming up on the calendar, CPI, PPI, as we talked about last week. That Chick-fil-A sandwich up 21%. That's a lot more than this 3% number we're looking at right here. Year over year, I mean, I think that's 10% on average just for a Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's the stuff we buy, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I got to feed me. I got to feed my kids. I got to feed my wife. I got to feed, Kimberly. She loves the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Don't tell her I blabbed. She went to get her hair done this morning. She's trying to pretty up for everybody coming to the VIP stuff. So anyway, 3%, that's like manufactured, right? They're trying to keep somebody in the White House, I think. PPI coming up tomorrow, or coming up Friday. It doesn't seem to, I don't have the year over year one on that one. Core PPI, completely garbage. CPI, if you take out all the stuff we spend money on, of course the inflation's only 3%. I mean, it's like they take it, like you look at all the stuff they take out healthcare and food and energy, and I mean, what else is left? You take out everything. What's left? Nothing. The air is 3% inflation, I guess. Anyway, producer prices have kind of come off this peak. Kind of squint a little bit and kind of blur it up and look at the trend here. We've kind of come back down near flat. That you can see we get these spikes, dips, spikes, dips, spike. We get more spikes than we get dips. Let's be honest here. This was a prolonged period above the line. Those producer prices going up. Usually it's like 6 months ahead of CPI prices going up. This is, there's your Chick-fil-A sandwich inflation right there. Producer prices. When it costs more to get the chicken, it costs more to get the flour, it costs more to get the oil, it costs more for the labor, especially when they're raising the minimum wage. It all trickles down to the cost of what we buy. And then you're like, well, everything got more expensive. We got to raise minimum wage again because people can't afford to live. It's a never-ending cycle. Just need to cut out minimum wage requirements. Let people work for $5 an hour if they want to work for $5 an hour. I mean, the labor situation takes care of itself. If you don't have those low-end jobs because people can't afford to pay somebody $20 an hour to do a job that's worth $5 an hour, they're not going to hire anybody to do that work. That job doesn't exist. So really, by raising minimum wage, we're eliminating jobs. Maybe I'm just, talking to the crowd that already understands this. But if you don't understand that, that's kind of how this works. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna replace everybody with robots. I mean, that's why Rongermer's boss is building Optimus Prime, I guess, or Optimus 2, or Optimus whatever he is now. CPI. What do I expect? Well, I mean, look at the trend. They're probably gonna get back into this. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me if we got down below 3. I mean, really, you and I both know we're up here way above anything we ever topped out at here. We're up here above 10. If you look at the actual stuff we buy. I mean, love it or hate it, Little Caesars Pizza up almost 30%. Subway sandwiches up. What happened to the $5 footlongs? $6 footlongs? $7 footlongs? $10 footlongs? I mean, everything we buy that we have to survive on. The only thing easing up here is gas prices, but that may be temporary. Even that may be temporary. So we'll see what happens here. It's all a mess, and eating's overrated. Well, yeah, that's why we got the GLP-1 drugs, right? That's why Lilly and Nova. Yeah, that's actually why some of the charts have had problems. I mean, these super consumers are actually eating less. Hot and ready now, $5.55. Be $6 before you know it. Yeah, they have their stuffed crust things like $12. It's like pepperoni pizza, and they just put extra cheese in the crust, and it makes it $12 instead of $6. What? Anyway, NVO. And just chugging on the kind of drop, I guess. I don't know. Not sure what happened. I think the split here messed with my channel. Let's remove the drawings. Draw back on. New channel. There's kind of what we're hanging in right here. As they grow the market for that, it's going to keep flowing in the... This is like... Right now I have two, I guess, picks that I would say are in the pharmaceutical med tech stuff that are bucking the trend for don't trade them. NVO would be one, and Eli Lilly would be the other at this point. Both of them have GLP-1 drugs out on the market. That one didn't retrace the roadmap line. Obviously going for 647, possibly 673. And they've hit on a gold mine as long as it doesn't kill people. As long as it doesn't kill people. As long as anybody remember the weight loss drug from earlier in the 2000s? it was like the hot rage thing, and then all of a sudden people started having heart attacks, and they banned it. I mean, as long as we don't get to that point, like this GLP-1 stuff is probably going to explode. People living longer, not having heart attack. I mean, it's just like you lose 15% of your body weight like right away. Now, even my sister-in-law in here has been on some of this GLP-1 stuff. It's very beneficial. So anyway, yeah. I agree, Chris. What's the rationale behind taking stuff out of the CPI? If you did the CPI numbers like we did in the 80s, we'd have inflation higher than we had in the 80s when it was like when they were still fighting, when they were bumping the interest rates up to like nearly 20%. Isn't that crazy? So that's why I think the higher for longer narrative may continue through the rest of the year. The actual odds of a rate cut are dropping. So anyway, yeah, and there's my sister-in-law saying one of those drugs worked amazing for her, and maybe it's not for everybody, but they're creating new formulas, new stuff's coming out. So it's pretty wild, life-changing stuff. So anyway, what's moving today? Well, in case you missed it, last night we had some drama on the front of the, I don't know what you'd say, the Bitcoin spot ETF drama. And maybe you missed it right here. We had the SEC official government Twitter account tweeting out that all these Bitcoin spot ETFs were approved right after the market closed. And then Gary Gensler coming on saying the SEC Twitter account was compromised. Was it hacked? Was it just unauthorized? They didn't approve anybody yesterday. I kind of thought it would be today before anything came out. Maybe it was an intern. Maybe it was somebody just manipulating the market. Some people just like to watch the world burn, We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens. This was a lot of drama, and Bitcoin. Ouch. Sell the news, baby. Sell the news. This is what it's looking like. Sell the news. We saw an initial spike and a fair drop. We're still hanging in the channel. Just don't panic yet. But looking kind of like sell the news. Kind of warned everybody, but we may just maintain the channel. May just keep maintaining the channel. But you know what? That roadmap line be an easy place to drop to. 36. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised one bit. We could come all the way back to the breakout. That'd be 32. Could overdo it too. Get a little overexcited on the selling. 30. Entirely possible. That was the high back here in April. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. All right. Any questions on that? Talked pretty ad nauseum on it last night. And I think we're going to have to sell the news. We may get a pop, but we're going to get a drop. More than likely. I've held that pretty consistent. That we'll probably get a sell the news off of that ETF into halving out in April. That halving event coming up. Right there. We got 14,850 blocks left. 100 days. 8 hours. 100 days. This will be the main event. And it's not an immediate, never in the past has it been an immediate kickoff for Bitcoin. It's always a lag, all right? There's always like, oh yeah, halving went through, no big deal, and then it gets going. UNH kicking off alert there. Market must be open. So when we look back here, these halving events they take a little bit to get going. Probably should put on our weekly chart. A few more candles. So the last one we had was back here in July of 2020. As you can see, it drifted and then accelerated. The one before that was in 2016. You can see that one took a while to ramp. We got there, but it took a while. And then to look at the all-time history. All-time history right there. Yeah, there I've got them marked. 2016 took a while, and then we ramped. That one took 6 months before it really started taking off. So it could take 6 months. Here's the one before that, back here in 2012. Took a while. It actually popped once and then went for the big run. You know, the initial, it's been 15 years since that initial block was mined. That one went sideways for over a year and then popped, but then came right back down. Kind of got dull into the halving, then popped, came back down, got dull, popped, came back down, got dull, popped, came back down. Anybody see the pattern? This is what we're looking at here. We may see a sell into that halving. Some crazy stuff could happen on this ETF approval thing. Likely to sell, maybe stall for a month or two after the halving. Then we might get the big run. If we do what we've done all the times before. No reason to expect something different, but you never know what's going to play out. Never know. So, coming back to the market today. This got interesting yesterday. Looky, breaking up. Breaking up. Target's up there. If we don't just spike and reverse, that's the thing to watch. If we spike and reverse, we can keep going. Right there's the target. If we get some close above here, above that resistance, above that gap. See the gap over here? That gap. That's the resistance. We get up through that gap. 48.22. If not, 48.60. All right. S5FI still being ridiculous. Still above 80. And watch out. This thing's going to drop sooner or later. Yeah, looking at the overnights, we're just kind of churning. Samesies on. Now, NQ was interesting because this may be a fifth wave up. We may get a wave 2 retrace in here. That wasn't it. It could be for much higher levels. We could extend that wave 5, get a wave 2 retrace, and then rocket higher. What do I mean by rocket higher? I mean like wave 3 right up here. Here at 17.4, wave 4 retrace, and then wave 5 up here around 17.7 at this point. That's just my wild guess without this being finished, because this wave 1 obviously extending on over. Russell, the laggard of the group, not pushing back higher yet. This one got beat down. Popped up with a 3-wave move and just not do anything. Interesting. Interesting the fact that it's not participating with the other indexes. Oil, just kind of churning here. Still maintaining that low. Pushing higher again, but we're not breaking out. We're not breaking down. Just inside Monday's action. 2 inside candles at this point. We can break out. And really the resistance is up here. So we got to break out above this or break down below this. So that's the box right there. That low, that high. We're in this box. And we're going sideways until we break above the roadmap line or below the prior low from December. Otherwise, oil just turning sideways. Gold, probably on a path down to the roadmap line at the minimum. Probably. If we could hold this support and turn higher, we could break out. The breakout's going to be above this level up here, 2100. As long as we're below that, the odds are it's like 60-40 we're going to touch the roadmap line. Bitcoin already talked about. Ethereum pushing back higher again. Rejected off the trend line. I mean, can we hold it? I don't know. Still lower high. Still extremely cautious here on Ethereum. Make another triangle thing in here. This is like full of triangle-y looking things, which are not bullish. It's certainly, I mean, it's riding this trend line, but softening up down here. If we break down, watch out. That one's going to retrace deeper. Dollar. Just sideways for a couple days. We may pop up and test that roadmap line. If we get back below this low, come on down. 99, possibly mid-90s. 99 is the low from back here in the summer. That looks pretty bearish at this point. Roadmap line pointing down. Bias down. Watch out below. See this move right here? We got down a little overexcited past the 618. Had to retrace it. Back to the 100. Back to the breakout point. Charging up before we can go lower again. So there you go. And dollar's going down. Dollar's going down. Probably coming down to the mid-90s at least. Don't be surprised when Janet Yellen comes out and says she's printing a bunch or whatever, issuing more coupons or whatever to add liquidity to the market. So there's my alert for ES going higher right there. What was it? UNH was the other one, right? What's the other alert that kicked off there a minute ago? Yeah, UNH, I think it was. Yeah, that's a roadmap line bounce right there. Clear it up on the daily chart. We talked about this in the Fib class on Monday, how the different time frames supported different things, but the bigger time frames tend to be the ones that dominate. So when this clears this high right here, probably going right up there. Easy peasy, just like that. There you go. 565 is the upside target on UNH. ZJYL, MedTech, probably coming back to the roadmap line or back to the long-term resting point. I think I said that when we popped up here the other day. It popped up here. I'm pretty sure this showed up on the list before. I don't trade that stuff. It's biotech, medtech. I mean, just be careful on that. ISRG, nice pop. If it can break out, probably come up here to 384. That's the target right up here. I'd shoot for 380, be conservative. Looks like where it's headed to me. KOLD is natural gas. Ultra short natural gas. Natural gas was actually kind of breaking out. Working on that breakout above the roadmap line. Still lower high. Still danger, caution. Danger, danger. It may have just done a retrace. Run the high to the low. That basically held the 786. Sitting at the 618. We start turning down again. Watch out. This is your support level right here. We get below that 270, 260, let's say 265. Be a little more conservative here on the. We get below that. Probably heading down here to the bottom of the box. Now, if we break out, probably heading up here to there, to there. It's $4, $4.50, possibly up to $5. I'm still holding long UNG, so just throwing that out there. So cold, I don't know. ALC, cold looks pretty horrible, and UNG actually looks pretty horrible too. So still holding it long, but doesn't look good for making money. We're gonna have a giant freaking spike to make any money out of my position. ALC potentially breaking out here. Probably already hit the targets on that move. Yeah, 81. Watch for resistance right there. May pull back off of that level. One more time. I mean, look. See, those pullbacks are violent. You can do another one of those right there. Right here. See that right there? You can do another one right there. LEN, Lenar, probably going on extension. Clean that up. Didn't hit the roadmap line on this time frame, but it probably did on something like a 30-minute, maybe. Yep, maybe an hourly. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Come on, calculate. It's not that difficult. Wow, trading view being slow. There it is. Hourly bounce. Likely to extend up here 159, possibly 163. DEO. Going down in a blaze of glory. 137. Next downside target there. I don't know. Oh, it already hit it back there. Upside resistance at 154. Downside, I guess downside's the bottom of this box, 129. Back here where we consolidated the lows. TGTX, therapeutics, choppy garbage, loses a bunch of money. Biotech pharma. Oh, it made money. Holy moly. Holy guacamole. Lost money, lost money, lost money, lost money, lost money, lost money, lost money. That's interesting that they did something to make money. Big trend. And so you got resistance up here at like 30. 0 is still 0. Be careful. SGH. Smart Global Holdings. Just chopping, man. Just choppy. Sideways garbage. Don't screw with stuff like that. SRPT. Another choppy sideways piece of bullshit. That's biotech pharma again for you. Choppy sideways. Why you want to trade it? MCAF. Well, that's coming back down. Could it go higher before it comes down? Yeah, but SPAC is... Most of the SPACs will come back down eventually. It'd be the exception, not the rule, if it stayed up here without coming back. There's a piece of flaming garbage. Holy beep. 1 for 30 split. That warrants the... And don't mess with this one. God. flaming pile of garbage right there. Don't, like, I'm guessing that's based on Clear Mind. It's probably psychedelic, pharmaceutical, biotech. Going down in a blaze of glory. I think somebody had me look at MindMed last night. That one's kind of choppy sideways, but when you zoom out a little bit, it's dying. MSTR probably coming back to the roadmap line. I warned everybody. That was probably the last move. Watch out. This is probably retrace. Once we get to the roadmap line, we can look for a new trade, but there you go. Probably going to retrace right back down. Move is played out for now. We can only go higher for so long. Like, there was the last one. We went up, hit extreme targets. Got to come back. Got to retrace it. We got to flush out people. Flush out the weekends. Recharge it. That money's got to flow. Flows out. Flows back in. Flows back out. Flows back in. That's how we make money. That's how we make money. That's how the big guys make money too. It flows out. Flows back in. Flows out. Don't be surprised if we come back down into this 100, 120 area right there on coin. ITW. Illinois tool is just chopping sideways. Probably going to go back. You know, it's not trending. So, not really. It's probably going to come back down like these overlapping lows, overlapping highs. That's not really a trend. When the low is pretty much where the prior low was, and the high is pretty much where the prior high was, that's just sideways. AEHR. Well, guess what? That one's got excited and coming back down. And we're getting below. Well, you have to put it on a log scale because that's negative. And watch out, watch out. There could be support right here at 14. If it gets below that with any kind of gusto, probably coming down to new low. GILD broke out. There you go. That's another biotech that you could actually trade for 94. It's a rather big and established one that actually makes some money. And has the chart pattern where it broke out and is likely to go up to 94. ALB, Amble Marble, still working on the bottom. Didn't make it to the roadmap line. Didn't make it to the resistance, and probably going to go lower. How much lower can she go? Check it out, low to high. 104 and 94. That's the downside targets. BitX. There's your 2x Bitcoin. I said this would be a volatile ride if you jumped into it. I mean, pretty volatile. Bitcoin pops on this ETF stuff. There you go, 2x. That's how you make some money, leveraged. Buy some options on it. You know, it's 20x, roughly. But leverage cuts both ways. And if Bitcoin drops, right back down. ETSY, and that's the last one, is still working on, that's bouncing off the roadmap line right there. Resistance, baby. Where is the next target down? Right there. 51, 44. Watch out below. It's kind of funny that that target lines up with this current extension. If we get below this area right here, that support, odds are coming down to at least 52 area. All right, bias for the day. Kind of bias long a little bit. We're pushing through that resistance I've been talking about. Pushing through, pushing through. Can we maintain it, or is it a spike in reverse? That's the big question. That's the big question. Right now it's a spike and drop. Got to push through. We spiked right up to the top of that. We gap filled. Look at that. We filled that gap almost perfectly and reversed. Oh, almost to the tick. Look at that. Almost tick perfect. So watch out for that. If we break out, we get above that 47.71 area. I'm going to set an alert. We get above that. Probably going up for the next few days. We might drift higher right into the FOMC meeting. We may do this right through the end of the month, through the 31st. Entirely possible. Entirely possible at this point. We may go higher right into the FOMC meeting at the end of the month. So thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I couldn't do this without you. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll be back on live tomorrow with a live studio audience. That's the goal. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the notifications. And if I said anything you liked, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like down there at the bottom. And I'll see you again tomorrow.